Andy Jenkins. I'm Dan Dawson. Paul Nicholson alongside me for this one. Two old school players right here. Turn your mic on.
Yeah, there's not many players who've got their own hashtag. Jenks has got his own hashtag.
Ah.
However, this is a bit like the Expendables, isn't it? Chuck Norris versus Rocky.
Wow. It is, isn't it? I haven't considered that.
First leg, Alan, to throw first. Game on.
Well, spoke to Norris this morning about last week, and he was ever so positive about it, saying, yeah, I played horrendously bad.
60.
And he seems to have been able to find out what was wrong, and he's had a good look in the mirror, and he
100.
thinks, feel a bit better today. Don't you worry about that, I will play better today.
Well, I don't. We may watch Alan Norris from now until the end of his professional career, and he will not play as poorly as he did against Andy Bolton last week. He went out in the second round, seeded player, of course, so joins at this stage of the tournament. And Bolton beat him 6-1, and Bolton didn't play that well. If we're honest, it's just Alan was a lot worse. But everybody's allowed an off day. And Alan Norris has had some very on days
59.
in what has been a relatively short PDC career. He's not been playing PDC darts for that long, Alan Norris.
And Andy Jenkins has been playing PDC for a long time.
Yes, he has. Semi-final of the Grand Prix in 2002, 14 years ago. He made that semi-final. A couple of years after that, semi-final of the UK Open, and of course the big one.
61.
Semi-final of the Worlds in 2007, still a long while ago.
Yeah, 2002 for that Grand Prix semi.
65.
And I'm close enough to Andy to say this. He hasn't changed a lot. He's just Jenks.
81. And you require 96.
96. Double 18.
60. And then you require 123.
So Norris looking at 1, 2, 3. To hold his throw in the opening leg here, start on the 19s. Oh, well, no, that doesn't help. 21, leaves 102. Yeah.
Well, there's been more players going
59.
next door today than the
and
postman.
you require 36.
Big red door
He shows in the first leg.
for Andy Jenkins. And one thing that
Second
hasn't
leg, Andy,
changed
to
with
throw
Jenks
first.
is he might have been up and
Game
down
on.
with his career over the last 14 years. He can still play it.
Yeah, he certainly can. I don't think there's... Again, you know, we
59.
talk about some of the guys who've been playing for, a couple of decades in darts. And some of the guys have been at the very top, like Taylor, obviously. Some of the guys have been
60.
constantly in that top 32, like Beaton. Phenomenal achievements. But the fact that Jenkins, he has been up and down, but he's still qualifying for things. He still believes he's a threat. I mean, he's only made one World Championship out of the last 6 years for various reasons.
60.
But he's still here. He still managed to beat Steve West and what was quite a tricky-looking first-round tie, I have to say. With the way Steve West had been playing, I don't think anybody wants to get drawn against him, to be honest. And certainly the first two legs, Steve West went off like a train, averaging 104, playing very, very well. But then he started to miss doubles, and it all got a bit scrappy. And
60.
Jenks just did what Jenks does and got the job done.
Yep. Well, that's what Jenks wants to do today,
60.
that's for sure. Can't remember the last time he was playing on a Sunday in the European Tour, if ever. But it'll be an interesting stat to find out. But
60.
for people out there who like their old school matches, you should go on YouTube and watch Andrew Jenkins versus Mark Day. I believe Andy was something like 17 years of age
65.
in that match. Look at the way he throws now and the way he threw back then. It's not a lot different, and that's one of the reasons why he's still playing to this day, because
77.
still got a throw that is very easy to replicate.
Well, for 2-0.
He
And there you
shows
go,
in the
nothing
second
wrong
leg.
with that.
Andy Jenkins.
Andy
Third leg, Alan,
Jenkins
to
has
throw first.
raced into a 2-0 lead, and Alan Norris, well, I don't think he'll be quite panicking yet,
100.
thinking we're going to have another Risa afternoon, but it's not started in the manner that he would have wanted.
Well, he hasn't got his first start right, that's for sure.
95.
And that's his real thing. When he gets that first dart right and puts those darts really close together, that's when he can get a real run on you.
Last time Andy Jenkins was in the final day of action on the European Tour was the Dutch Darts Masters in 2012, first year of the European Tour in its current incarnation. Made the last 16 there. That was the Dutch Darts Masters, the final tournament of the year in Newland. You remember that one, don't you?
I remember that well, yeah.
A couple of Aussies in the final. Simon Whitlock won it. Escapes me who the other guy was.
Yeah. Some guy with attitude. Yeah, he was rude.
100.
Yeah, I think he's coming back to me now. He got a leg, he did right.
Sounds like Celine Dion there. It's all coming back to me now.
90.
Well, this is a bit more like it from Alan Norris.
If you look at Andy Jenkins' darts as well, this is very interesting because nothing's changed over the years. He's been using those kite flights at the start. He's using them now. He had a little go at the big flights. He wants tops though, Chuck.
95. And you recall 147.
He's got the same darts. He's only repointed them a couple of times. He likes familiarity. Is he familiar with 147? Well, he was close.
131.
Well, he's applied the pressure and asked the question of Alan Norris.
20.
Double 10 to get a leg on the board. Yeah, there it is.
Alan Norris.
It's fair to say that with these two on stage, I don't think we'll be wanting for aggression.
55.
That is so true. I think Jenks has mellowed, you know, over the last couple of years. I really do.
180.
Maybe so, but it was quite a high level to come down from. As he fires in a 180 in response.
Well, he hasn't gone soft on that treble. It's been better the last couple of visits.
60.
Shout of come on. Alan Norris is one of these players that is not shy about trying to G himself up, even in between throws.
99.
Like a much more vocal Robert Thornton. Chucks a dart and then has a word with himself. Often a very loud one. Last week in Risa, I mean, he was
60,
practically screaming at himself, Alan Norris, just to try and make something change.
Yeah, he was screaming that loud that the same Alan Norris in a different dimension would actually hear him. Jenks is in control of this leg so far. Now he's got to do a bit of maths. 64 leaves 137.
79. And he requires 72.
That was interesting. This is very interesting too. The Ashdown.
69.
Uh-oh.
And he requires 122.
He's thinking to himself, if Norris doesn't hit this, I've now got to come back for 111, and there is nobody to blame but himself.
Well, he is going to come back for 111. I'm not really
54.
sure why Norris went for the treble
And he
15
requires 3.
with that last visit to set that 122 up, but double one, and it will matter not. To the left, 1 to the right, but too high.
Alan, you require
That won't do much for your average. I tell you what, it wouldn't have mattered. It won't matter, sorry, if Alan Norris hits double 4. And he does.
Shows in a full flag, Alan Norris.
Somewhat of a steal, but he won't care about that.
The flag Alan to throw first.
As you were. We're 2-2. We've got a lot of games this afternoon that are going all the way. This looks like it might be another one.
Yeah, well, here we go. Alan Norris. Can he keep on now, having levelled a match from 2-0 down? The winner of this one will face James Wade. See the averages here. That's
60.
nothing to get excited about from either man, really. Plenty of time for them to crank it up. Yeah, James Wade, one of the 6-5 winners we've seen
60.
this afternoon already. Typical James Wade, really, wasn't it? Wade's average equal to his opponent's +1. Just doing enough.
40.
The James Wade formula.
A few kids out there who are watching. One of the first lessons of getting better at darts in match play
125.
is that you should never, ever think about averages when you're playing, because you do and you're snookered. It's as simple as that. The moment you can put that
60.
out of your mind completely, You just think about the task in front of you, and you don't think about all of the other things that, or the other superlatives, maybe.
134.
It's just about winning this leg.
Of course it is.
Winning the next leg.
Yep.
So, and that's what James Wade has made an entire career out of doing.
99, and you require 42.
He is not, as he calls it, a numbers man. I don't care. Winning games, and Norris looking to win this leg, and does so, and that's a 14 darter, and that's a little bit better, and for the first time Alan Norris moves into the lead.
More Chuck-like from Chuck.
123.
Yeah, I can't tell you the amount of times that I have come off stage, and some of my fellow professionals, where they have absolutely no idea what they've averaged. They wouldn't even be able to give you a ballpark, but they've played well, and they've come off and it's been huge. Because they weren't thinking about it whatsoever. And you see that in
100.
a lot of local stuff, and maybe a slightly higher level, where people are so fixated with statistics, and they're too busy thinking about that and what's in front of them. Well, one thing I know about these guys is that averages mean diddly. It's all
95.
about getting to 6 and getting to Sunday.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you know, there's obviously
60.
as well the added incentive of making it to the European Championship in Hasselt. And Alan Norris had a quarter-final on the Euro Tour last year,
40.
and that was in. Well, he made the final day of action in Dusseldorf,
98.
and he then went on to win his first PDC title.
Arguably one of the, if not the hardest, Pro Tour event away from the cameras to win.
Yeah, the
100.
London Dublin. I mean, you mentioned it.
120.
All the big guys are there because they're getting ready for the Grand Prix. So nobody's ducking out of it as Jenkins looks to square the match off at 3 apiece. Misses
100.
on tops, but he will return with Norris back on 2-2-6.
Another way you could probably classify Jenks as old
90.
school is that he doesn't do
And you require
any tactics
20.
on stage. He just gets on with it. Is he going to mess around with doubles again? No, he's not.
The sixth flag, and A.Jenkins.
As you were again,
7 flag,
3-3.
Allen to throw
Plot
first.
thickens down
Game
Dawson.
Oh, you can't separate them at the minute. Can one of them just kick on? We saw
140.
Mervyn King against Dimitri Vandenberg yesterday. It always felt that Dimitri was chasing the game because Mervyn was scoring very, very
96.
well. He looked to be playing in general better darts, but Dimitri just kept stealing legs on his throw and staying with Mervyn. And then, in the back part of the game, last 3 legs, he put his foot to the floor. He found some really
100.
good darts and managed to close out the win, Dimitri. And if you get to 3-3 all, we know all of these guys are quite capable of putting 3 very
59.
good legs together. They make 12, 15, 12. Thank you very much. Shake of hands, good night.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are. If you go 12, 15, 12, Michael van Gerwen is going to
60.
have problems stopping you winning the 3 legs. Now, he can do, of course.
On top of that, we shall see. Oh, we'll see a 180 from Jenkins first. Gets him back in the leg, but Dimitri Vandenberg, who said it a few times, played well yesterday. A really good scalp in taking out Mervyn King. How will he play against the 6th seed today, Michael Smith?
93.
Well, he's coming up in the next match, and Michael Smith, of course, is the defending champion. Jenks has left himself a bogey number here. Couldn't really be helped, but he's going to apply some pressure. And how about that for a
134.
set-up shot? Alan Norris, what have you got? 108. It might have to go. 88 left, treble 16. Needed it for tops. Doesn't get it. Purse of the lips.
48.
And Jenkins has
And
given
you
himself a
require
chance for a
32.
break to go into the lead 4-3.
It's
There it
on to the
is, 13
7th flag,
darter.
and
Jenks is back, you know.
Well, you don't see much of a celebration from Jenks,
Throw first.
but that's about as much as you get usually, unless there's one exception.
Game on.
When he beat Phil Taylor on TV, and he had a big right hook, and he's one of those few guys who have actually beaten
60.
Phil on TV. I think he puts that up there with one of the best wins of his life.
Yeah, I think it's certainly one of the highlights of most dart players' career. Once, you know, if they manage to do it.
47.
And I remember, I think it was in this very arena where Stephen Bunting managed to do it in the European Championship, won it 10-9 in a game where they both averaged 102. And for Stephen, I think
60.
that is one of the. He's a world champion, but it is still one of the highlights of his career. I mean, obviously, apart from being in tears when Barney gave him a big speech at the World Cup.
100.
Highlighted everybody who witnessed that magical moment. Stand up if you love the darts echoing around the RWE Arena here in Mulheim.
140.
Former host of the European Championship. That's now moved to Belgium. Hasselt in Belgium. That's in November. These guys duking it out to try and get there. Alan Norris. Well,
85.
Adding a few extra quid just to bump his way up the seedings and...
Well,
120.
that's music to Norris's ears, because another 60 there, that could have been curtains for this leg. And he really would have been up against it. He needs a 60 to leave a finish.
59.
All of a sudden, it
And
doesn't
he
really matter
required
about that bounce out for
121.
Jenkins, because he has 6 starts from 1-2-1. And this is dream streak for Jenkins, because he can take his time, he can lay it up, just like
89.
that, and not have to stress.
Yeah, old school. No messing around on bullseye finishes when you don't need to. Just come back and leave that double 16. He hits it first dart in the last leg. If he hits it here in this visit, it's 5-3, and Alan Norris is on the brink of another second round exit from the European Tour. Double 8 just next door for Jenks. Double 4 all the way over the other side of the board.
28.
Missed opportunity. 110 is no gimme though.
110.
You just get the feeling that Chuck might have this, because it's been even all match. Might stay there, you know. Does in double 15. There it is.
Shot in the 8th leg, Alan Norris.
And we heard that all the way up here in the commentary box. And that really wasn't music to Jenks's ears.
Well, Paul Nicholson called it. Alan Norris delivered. 110 check out on double 15, and well, suddenly Norris now knows 2 holes to throw is enough to book his place in the last 16. We saw him make the last 16 in Austria earlier on this year.
95.
We have seen him make semi-final, 3/4 finals on the tour this year, as well as a final in the UK Open qualifiers right at the start of this year. He has been playing
41.
in spells very, very competitive darts, Alan Norris.
But it's been somewhat
95.
erratic from his own standards in this match. There have been moments of brilliance, like that last check out 110. Executed it perfectly.
125.
But he wouldn't have got that chance if Andy hadn't missed those 3 doubles.
80.
That's it, that's been the moment, those 2 visits. Jenkins missing 3 for a 5-3 lead. Norris taking out 110 on double 15, and that is a great setup shot. Leaves himself double 12.
Well, right smile from Andy. Right smile, sorry.
100, and you require 24.
So it's looking ominous for 5-4 Chuck now. Good guide.
80. And you
I think
require
Andy's wishing he was a little bit closer. This is a tough finish. Treble 13.
Some way off with that one at treble 13, but he knows he's going to get 2 darts.
6.
If Norris fails to take this out, now is it straight at it? Is it the Richard Ashdown? Right at the bottom of the board? Is it 2 double 2? I think he's going straight at it. Yeah, he pins it.
Alan Norris,
Big dart.
throw first.
Well, Jenkins was 2-0 up. He trailed 3-2. Then he was 4-3 up. Now it's 5-4 Norris. This has gone one way, then the other, and then back.
This is like a fish tank in a lorry. Side to side, front to back, all over the place.
60.
You've got to think that Norris is favourite, but only slightly. But then again, Jenks has really started well in this leg.
Wow, look, you can see there, everything has been done in 5 or 6 visits to the board. And although it's not been terrifying by any stretch of the imagination, there's no darts here that's going to make any of the rest of the field sit up and go, well, hang on, these guys are playing some stuff to be scared of. It's solid, and it's competitive, and they're in a battle here. And Jenkins is looking very, very good to take us all the way to yet another deciding leg. We saw Robert Thornton, Terry Jenkins and James Wade all win in deciding legs.
Another one of those will do.
92.
Now, what pressure is Norris going to put on that 32? Because the last time he had 32, he did miss 3 darts. So Norris will know that.
37. And
he's going to have to hit it this time, or otherwise it could be curtains.
He's asked the question. Double 8. And he's got the answer as Jenks. It's a 14-darter. We are going all the way. And so far today, we've seen every single seeded player make it through. Thornton, Jenkins, Price, Suljevic, Wade, they are all in the final day of action.
58.
Alan Norris will be hoping to continue that trend, but he kicks off 58, and Andy Jenkins is looking to make him pay.
99.
I don't know about you, Dan. I don't want this game to end. I'm really enjoying it. It's so unpredictable.
100.
A reminder, the lead has changed hand a number of times in this match. 2-0 up, Andy Jenkins was. He was 3-2 down and 5-4 down. After being
83.
4-3 up.
Well, he wrestled in 83 there. Only just pipped it in the 60 with the anchor dart.
77.
Getting gritty now. Tons become very good. You can get 2 bits of lipstick. You're laughing. Oh.
85.
He knows it was a missed opportunity, Jenkins. Norris down for the 19s here. Needs the treble to leave 170. Not
60.
that treble, Alan.
6 darts from 2, 3, 4. He'll just be happy to leave a finish now.
Oh, no.
And he can't.
21.
That's a horror show in his eyes. Wow. But all is not lost unless Chuck puts a huge hole in this. Andy Jenkins
56.
has still got a chance in this match if he can hit a couple of 60s.
Big trebles at a premium in this deciding leg. It's all got very nervy, but that
85.
second dart from
And you
Jenkins
record
could prove
150.
to be a massive one. 150 for the match. Well, I mean, why? Why would you go that
70.
route?
In all my life,
And you record 120.
I've only ever seen that twice, and that's one of them.
Oh, dear me. Well, he's going to get a go at the 80. Jenkins, I mean,
78.
there have been 2 visits there that I'm
Alan, you
struggling to
require
explain.
80.
Only thing I can think of is he's done it to upset Andy Jenkins. Here, it's single 20 and the game's over if he hit tops.
40.
Now Jenkins will not have a
you
better
require
opportunity
50.
to steal this game.
Well, he won't go bullseye first dart here, I can assure you of that.
I
It'll be
hope not.
18 for double 16 to knock out Alan Norris. For Norris to become the first seeded player to go out
Yeah,
of this
shot.
weekend's tournament. And Jenks is back. And he's into the final day of action on the European Tour for the first time in 4 years. Andy Jenkins knocks out Alan Norris. He had a match dart, Norris. He did not take it. And Jenks will take on James Wade. Jenks is back, but really, when he was always in our hearts, did he ever truly leave?
Andy Jenkins.